another top 10 video, but this one are the top 10 most clutch NBA shots of all time. So, should be pretty exciting. This is, yes, a list I found, but of course, you know me and you watching this video right now can discuss about other shots that we feel could be better, worse, should be on the list, things like that. So make sure you comment down below, maybe your favorite NBA clutch shots of all time. Now, keep in mind on this list, this is the most clutch shots of all time. So, where the shot, is in history, storyline, rivalry, things like that, I think that all plays into the sort of clutch moment. Now, sure, there are some great, full court shots to win basketball games and half court heaves and things like that, which are dope. That's awesome. But I think that is different from that and, a clutch moment. So let's keep that in mind. And also, obviously, if you would like, leave a like on tonight's video. I will love to see a like from you. And also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Pretty crazy. We are on our way to 10K. I know that's sort of the slogan I'm going on right now, but then I guess we can jump right into tonight's video. Okay, so I just pulled up the, top 10 most clutch shots of all time, and this one was actually pretty interesting. So, at number 10, they have listed on this specific list I'm looking at, it's a one that you can choose, which is kind of cool. So it's either or, but it's from the same player, and it's actually Damien Lillard. Yes, Damien Lillard already has a top 10 most clutch shots in NBA history. Now, obviously, Damien Lillard has a lot of buzzer beaters against a lot of different teams. I think every single team in the NBA he has at least hit at like a game-winning clutch shot against every team in the NBA, which is totally crazy to think about. But for this specific one, it's the game-winning, go-ahead, series-clinching buzzer beater step back against Paul George against the Thunder in 2019. I think, 2019 playoffs. Super crazy. If you guys didn't know, I was actually at that game live. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. That game, that shot, it still feels weird. Think about it. I was actually there in some sort of Blazers history. It was so amazing to see that live. I didn't record it. I didn't even have my phone in my hand. I was just living in the moment, and it was one of the most crazy things I've ever experienced in my entire life. But that was a very nice one. Obviously, again, with the clutch comes with, everything that sort of came into that story with, obviously, the year before, Blazers kind of had a pretty much of a downer year that year. The prior year, I think the year before, they got very much beaten by the New Orleans Pelicans, had a lot of trash thrown at Portland that following year, and then coming into that playoff series were the underdog, and then also the sort of, chippy-chappiness of the Westbrook-led Thunder team, talking a lot, but Blazers kind of hunkered down and got the dub, which is really cool to see. Also, the Damien Lillard series clincher against the Houston Rockets, and obviously this one's also really nice as well. So, I guess either way, but probably on the list, probably the Houston Rocket one probably meant a little bit more, so I'm going to go with that one at number 10. Okay, so at number 9, they have here, actually kind of a cool one, but a little bit of a harder one to find. Well, not find, but one that's not probably really well known, which is probably bad to put this on this list, but then again, there are so many great shots in NBA history, but this one is John Stockton versus the Houston Rockets, and this is the shot that sends the Utah Jazz into the NBA Finals. I think it was a Game 6 shot, I think. Obviously with the Utah Jazz at that time being a good team, but I think, those Houston Rockets teams of the 90s were super great, super awesome, but it was very, very, very hard to probably bet against John Stockton, Karl Malone, those Jazz teams, and Game 6, the Western Conference Finals. John Stockton nails a clutch 3 to send their team to the NBA Finals. It was in 97, so it was the game that sent him to the finals to face Michael Jordan's Bulls for the last time, the last showing, and eventually obviously losing, but man, a game-clinching shot to make it to the NBA Finals. I mean, obviously there's one that we may or may not be talking about later on that has happened in recent history, but that's very special, obviously, and also just an historic player, and I think he also shoots it over Charles Barkley, which, man, if you're a Barkley fan, a Houston Rocket fan, anything like that, you probably feel really bad for Charles Barkley because Houston Rockets team didn't even make it to the finals. That's pretty sad, but hey, that is a pretty cool. At number 8, they have this one's actually kind of interesting as well too. It is at number 8, Ralph Sampson. Yes, Ralph Sampson. If you didn't know who that is, or don't know who that is, Ralph Sampson, big time center, I think / power forward for the Houston Rockets. Sort of the first big man before Hakeem came along, and then they have the whole Twin Towers there in Houston, which was really cool. But they have the Houston Rockets versus the LA Lakers, and this shot that Ralph Sampson put up sent the Houston Rockets to the NBA Finals to face off against the Boston Celtics. Super cool. I think it was a Game 5 buzzer beater. Ralph Sampson just gets it in the post, spins around as fast as he can, 180s it, and just throws it at the rim, makes it in. It was pretty cool. I think it was like a 1 second shot, maybe even under 1 second. Back in those days, they didn't have like the .0 whatevers. So 1 second heave, it was kind of cool. It's a very lucky shot. I don't know if it's very clutch. I mean, like Lillard, all those other ones, drawn up plays, things like that. Even the John Stockton one, drawn up play. This one was just, give it to, arguably your best player and just pray that it goes in, and it did. So that's pretty cool that happened. Also against, a rival, LA Lakers, one of the best teams, definitely obviously of that decade of all time, this and that, Magic Johnson. That's honestly kind of cool. Does that deserve to be a top 10? I don't know. I have a lot of ones in my head, but they're probably ones that are already on this list, so let's get through the list a little bit more, start talking about some other ones that we may or may not disagree on. Okay, so at number 7. Oh wow, okay, so it's Magic Johnson here at number 7. And if you're a big NBA fan, you probably know what I'm going to say. It is the Magic Johnson Sky Hook. Yes, the game where Magic Johnson pulled off Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's unblockable, undefeated skyhook to win. I think the NBA Finals, or at least a game in the NBA Finals. But I think this one is very, very, very iconic, and I think that's why it gives a nudge over other, game series winning sort of buzzer beaters, because this one is just so iconic. It's Magic, it's Bird, it's Prime, Magic, Prime, Bird teams. Like these are, they're going at head to head, and this sort of Magic Johnson sort of a skyhook to sort of win the game, not necessarily taking over, Kareem's shot, but really, really, really giving it all to the Boston Celtics on a really great skyhook, and it's super clutch as well. You just is just over Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish. Like, dude, like, that is legendary, even though it might not be the coolest shot to see, but over two great defenders over your rival team, NBA Finals Game 4, like, you know, these are willing wins that you need to have, and they come up big with it. So, I guess you could argue this one being up or down. I think it kind of depends. I think it's in a good spot. I think it's definitely in a good spot right now. Again, it's just not a very flashy one, at least in my opinion, but I think it is pretty cool. So we have Magic Johnson's Skyhook, which is kind of cool. Next up on the list, at number 6, I think, right? Yeah, at number 6. Oh wow, wait. This one, I've heard people echo that it is maybe the greatest, you know, clutch shot of all time, but probably more of the old head basketball people, but I've heard it. It is Michael Jordan. Yes, it is Michael Jordan, but no, not the one that you're probably thinking of. It is the other Michael Jordan shot. It's the shot over Cleveland. Yes, it is the sort of first stamp on Michael Jordan's big-time career. I think it was, I don't know if it was a game winner or a series clinching winner. I actually need to do some research right now, but it was definitely a big-time shot for sure. Yeah, it was actually a shot to eliminate the Cleveland Cavaliers in the playoffs in 1989. So, not yet prime Michael Jordan, but just entering prime Michael Jordan. So again, a sort of first staple into the big, luxurious career of Michael Jordan. And this is a really nice shot, very flowy, very, you know, it seemed like it was made for Michael Jordan to make that shot and happen. And just the celebration after it is just, oh my god, it's engraved in a lot of sort of basketball fans' brains for years and years and years and forever. I think that will always be sort of one of my first things I'll think about with Michael Jordan, is that sort of celebration when he jumps and punches the air. Like, that is just, it's so cool. Is it better than some of the other ones that we've talked about? Again, it kind of just depends on, like, how you sort of think about clutch and legacy and how it means in, like, NBA history. And obviously with Michael Jordan being the GOAT, you know, arguably, I guess I could throw it out there, but arguably the GOAT, you know, it's very important, I would assume, in sort of NBA lore. So I could see this one being higher up than, like, you know, Damien Lillard nearly half-court 3 buzzer beater to win a series. But this also is very important because of who it is, how it happened, even just great games that were played during that series. I think it is very meaningful, so I can understand how it is higher up on this list. At number 5, we actually have Big Shot Bob hitting a buzzer beater 3. And I know he has obviously a lot of them, but this one is called the tip because if you don't know, this was a crazy game. Lakers were, I think, down or maybe tied. Kobe drives the ball, throws it at the rim. Shaq tries to get the tip in, but instead, Vlade Divac tips it back out to the 3-point line, thinking, hey, as long as we get the stop, we win the game. But he tips a pass perfectly right where Big Shot Bob already is, and nails the game-winning 3, which is super dope to see that. I mean, obviously this one is also very meaningful because the rivalry that was brewing there in Sacramento versus the Lakers. And I think the Lakers were also down in those playoff series, came back, and this was, I think, the final game that sort of helped the Lakers win the series. I think, right? I think it was the series clincher, if I can't remember, but that is just one of the craziest shots, probably in NBA history, which is why it's on this list. Super lucky, perfect place, perfect timing, perfect shot, perfect player to catch that ball. Like, it was written in the stars for that to happen, and it was really cool to see. I mean, obviously, if you're a Lakers fan, I mean, a Sacramento Kings fan, you probably feel differently about this, so I very much do apologize, but it was definitely a perfect sort of placed shot. I think this one is definitely probably a top 5, just because of, like, maybe not the shot itself, like if you just play the short little clip of, Big Shot Pop hitting a wide open three, like cool, like that's nice. But like if you play the whole clip or even watch the entire game, entire series, see how rugged these teams just did not like each other at all. And for that to be the finish, it was so crazy, so cool. I mean, if you're not obviously a Lakers fan, you probably feel differently, but finally getting into some new age basketball here, finally, thankfully. No, at number 4, and this one arguably could be higher up because, again, of how just absolutely absurdly lucky this shot is. But it is also a series clinching shot. It is Kawhi Leonard's Toronto Raptors beating the Philadelphia 76ers with Kawhi Leonard hitting one of the craziest shots I've ever seen in my entire life. It was super crazy. This sort of drippy, drop, bing, 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 bong, 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 swish shot. This was during the 2019 season as well. The same season as Damien Lillard's series clincher. Super crazy. It was such a crazy game, crazy series. I think it was Game 7, Eastern Conference Finals, Toronto Raptors. Jimmy Butler led 76ers team. I want to say Jimmy Butler led, but obviously Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, that team was really good, but Jimmy Butler really made a difference on that team. But wow, that entire game was really, really, really good. And I remember watching that game at home being just so crazy. It was just fun to watch the game, and then how it ended was just absolutely crazy. Over a 7-footer, beating out, I think he was guarded first by Ben Simmons, and then Joel Embiid. So those are two pretty, big time stars in today's NBA. And just let it fly, and it just, again, just drip, drop, drip, boom, 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 bang, pow, switch. And I think it was pretty cool. Obviously sending Toronto to their first ever NBA Finals and winning their first ever NBA championship. I think that is also the little cherry on top that makes it such a clutch NBA shot, because if that didn't happen, they go into overtime, I think, or maybe even lose. I think it's overtime, and who knows, maybe they don't win, and then hey, the 76ers are holding up that title, because obviously KD gets hurt, Clay gets hurt. I mean, whoever came out of that series was winning a title no matter what. Check out who is number 4, or actually number 3. This is top 3 now. Wow. Oh man, is this more clutch? You know what? I don't know. Kawhi's shot was definitely more luck than clutch, but this one at number 3 is definitely, I think, one of the just most heart-wrenching daggers we have ever seen in the NBA's history, and that is the Kyrie Irving 3-1. They are coming back 2016 NBA Final shot to basically clinch the game to win Cleveland's first ever title. Yes, Kyrie Irving's dagger 3. Man, that is, I remember watching this game live and just literally just like yelling. Like I was just so, it's like crazed that a team was about to be down 3-1, coming back, and then, after that 3, man, that looked like it was like good, like they were gonna win. I think Steph had a chance to win or tie the game, but missed. Great defense by Kevin Love, I think it was. If I do remember, I think the Warriors had another shot, but they missed. But man, it may not be a sort of game buzzer beater winner, but man, if we're talking about just clutch moments, one-on-one defense, step back, just, oh my god, that's literally the definition of a dagger 3. Like that is just, it hurts. If you're not rooting for that team or just not watching for the fun of the game, like, man, that probably hurts a lot. I think that's definitely one of the most clutch shots of all time. I think it has to be at least top 5. Like it has to be top 5, especially if you bring in the storyline, the LeBron block, the setup, that play. Like, dude, it's so meaningful. I think in NBA history, again, just because it's the 3-1, 2016 championship game with LeBron and Cleveland, and jeez, the whole storyline was just picture perfect. I think it has to be top 5 at least in my opinion. That's a great one for sure. Next up, the story and everything sort of came around to that sort of NBA Finals. I think that three really is very important in NBA history with, LeBron and that rivalry of the Heat and the Spurs during that time period. Man, the Spurs were, a dynasty team. Same thing with Miami and LeBron's team. Like, there's four future Hall of Famers on that team with Kawhi, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and then a Hall of Fame coach as well. Like, that team is stacked, and then amazing role players. That team was crazy good, and then obviously with the Miami Heat, you got the big three, and then Coach Spo was pretty good at that time, and some pretty decent role players as well. But man, I know we said we're gonna talk about some other ones, but these ones I'm about to say aren't on the list. But I know one I can think of off the top of my head is Jerry West half-court shot, and I think that one was also in the NBA Finals to send the game into overtime. That one I know is pretty famous and popular. We have LeBron's three-point shot against the Orlando Magic back in like 2008. I think to win a game, that one's a very popular, highlight of all time. I know I've seen that shot a lot. Also, obviously LeBron's, I think series clinching, maybe game winning, Indiana Pacer fadeaway. I think it was a fadeaway or maybe a post-up game move, something like that. In 2018, that sort of crazy, awesome 2018 run LeBron had. One of the best I think I've ever seen any player play ever. That was a crazy run for sure. I'm trying to think of other words. I know Kobe had one against the Suns a long time ago. A game winner against the Suns. I'm trying to think of other ones. Let me know down in the comments some other really good clutch moments in NBA history. Obviously the playoffs make it a little bit more meaningful. Sure, we could talk about other sort of just game winners, like obviously like Steph Curry, half-court shot against the Thunder. That one is obviously super clutch, super awesome, super crazy, but it doesn't have the story behind it. Sure, it's a great, it's the start of sort of the Steph Curry era of shooting and basketball, which is awesome, but I don't know, I guess the playoffs just make things more clutch, I guess you could say, so I think that makes a lot of sense. But at number one, we obviously have probably the most clutch player of all time, the player most people would say if their life was on the line, if the death beam was pointed at Earth, who would take the last shot? It's Michael Jordan, and it is the shot. Yes, finally the shot, not the other shot, the Cleveland one, but the shot. It's the push-off. The push-off shot against the Utah Jazz, NBA Finals, series winner, game winner, last championship in Michael Jordan's career. This one is obviously very meaningful. It is Michael Jordan's sort of last hurrah as a Bull. Obviously, Michael Jordan continued to play basketball after this, but the highest level of basketball, probably not. But this is a really good shot. It's very clutch. It's amazing. That game was so back and forth. That series was so crazy to watch. If you guys haven't seen it before, it's a great game / series to watch. If you're like a rugged NBA fan, sure, it's not the most entertaining game to watch. If you're just wanting to watch players do highlights and stuff, obviously probably not. But if you're a real fan of basketball, I don't want to say that, but if you want to watch it, you really should watch it. It's really good, and the shot, it's good. Obviously, back in the day, they would let off a lot of different things. You see a lot of players nowadays getting called for even just a little push off on the offensive end. He fully extended, shoved. Well, they don't say shoved. He says guided. He guided the defender out of the way and raised up and shot it mid-range. Very cash. I think it was about a free throw line shot. So probably pretty easy to remember a free throw sort of a shot for a lot of NBA players. So do I think it's the most clutch shot of NBA history though? I don't know. I think obviously just like maybe it being like shots, or not 3-point shots, clutch shots in NBA history that aren't just, NBA playoff shots, but obviously NBA playoff moments are the most stressful clutch shots, so maybe that's why. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for me. So make sure if you like the video, you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll